Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny, and holy crap! For those of you who've been around this channel for a little while, you know that we're both Alibaba bulls. It was a brutal day for Alibaba stock. Unfortunately, it looked like we were finally breaking out of this whole news trend and then right back into it. We're going to talk about what happened to give maybe a little bit of positive light at the end of this video.
If you like this kind of entertaining stock market content where there's two super guys trying to figure everything out, losing all our money on Baba, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll get started. Two Super Guys Trade Stocks.
You know, I just realized I don't know where exactly this picture of Jack Ma came from. Like, why was he making this face in public? But it's very appropriate for a lot of Alibaba news over the last couple of days.
It is. It is a kind of a perfect photo.
Yeah, man, I would have to agree. For those of you who like numbers, this is what we're talking about here. Alibaba stock was down 11% on Friday. That hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was day trading it. It was probably the easiest trade ever because there wasn't even like one minute candle that was up. It was just for like a straight 2 hours. So
Wow. Yeah, that's a little brutal to hear. Actually, it's crazy. The funny part to me is we're gonna do a separate video today about Intel, and their news was much worse than this, in my opinion, and the stock was down nearly as much.
there you go.
Uh,
Makes sense.
yeah, for those of you who actually prefer visual representation, it's nice little gap here, huh? What do you think?
Yeah. So not only did we have a gap, but we had zero buying power, hence the full red bar. So it just leaked the entire day after gapping down from 100 to, I want to say, 95-ish.
Yeah, that's where the gap was, and then it just continued to trail off from there. That's pretty horrible. So the major news story here, this whole thing came back to roost. We've done actual other videos talking about this Holding Foreign Company Accountable Act. Why did this finally crop up? Well, it looks like Alibaba has finally been added to the list of naughty companies, according to the SEC. You're naughty. Chris Farley.
And
Right there.
all Chinese companies are. All of them.
Yes. So technically, once they've been provisionally identified, which is where they are right now, they have a certain period of time where they can respond to the SEC and allay all the fears and get off the list. No company has done it so far because, frankly, they can't. They're not allowed to comply with the PCAOB Accounting Oversight Board. We talked about that individually. I'm not going to bring it up again, but that's basically where this negotiation between China and the U.S. is stuck as of now.
Yeah,
People contend that it.
we can link
What's
in the
that?
video what he's
Yeah.
talking about regarding the actual board.
Exactly. But Biden and Xi did have a 2-hour conversation this week, so that's something positive, I guess. But then we'll also have to see if Pelosi decides to go fly into Taiwan or not, and then this blows up the entire Alibaba portfolio.
Yeah. Hopefully
Yeah.
she'll say that she has long calls and then push everything for Baba, like she did for the video.
Well, the good news is that this is like, I don't say good news, but this is not the actual only news story regarding Alibaba this week. It was a pretty kind of eventful week or so for Alibaba stock. I don't know if you saw this headline as well. The rumor is that Jack Ma may be conceding control of Ant Group as a step towards Ant Group getting this bank holding group kind of a designation, and then clearing way for this Ant Group IPO. We'll
So,
see.
so him stepping away is good news or bad news?
They would be theoretically good news in allowing the kind of IPO to hopefully advance. They need the designation as a bank holding group before they can actually do this.
Okay.
And him stepping away would potentially clear the air for that a little bit. That's the rumor. For those of you who don't know, Alibaba does own about a third of Ant Group, so that would be beneficial to them. The other thing that happened this week is that Alibaba moved forward with a dual primary listing. As of right now, they're primarily listed in the United States at NYSE, and that they would also be listed in the Hong Kong Exchange as dual equal primary listings. So is the process they're going through at this point. So the argument was that this would allow more readily ownership within China, was what they were saying. The kind of transaction volume in terms of the Hong Kong Exchange has increased over time. It's still relatively small. If you look at this press release from their announcement here, you're talking about Hong Kong about $700 million or so a day US dollars in terms of trading value, and then 3.2 billion in the United States and the NYSE. So it's still a small portion thereof of what's listed in the US. Bob, the ticker symbol we actually own and hold.
But weren't they? I mean, they're already listed on like Shang Chen. I can't remember the names. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, so they have a secondary listing there. The difference between a primary and secondary listing wasn't something I could actually find anything in terms of helping me understand what the difference was, but that was the argument for why they would do it. This is really all we get from Alibaba here was this press release about it, which tells me they're doing it, but doesn't tell me what exactly on a functional day-to-day basis it actually changes in terms of ownership.
Right.
Yeah, but I wanted to end the video on like a little bit of a high note. So for those of you who don't know, Alibaba has a $25 billion share repurchase program authorized right down here. 25 billion was authorized. They've used 9.6 billion of it as through the end of the most recent quarter that they had publicly announced, meaning they still have $15.4 billion in authorized cash available for share repurchases. So it goes further when the share price is depressed, right? Ideally, you'd want a period of time where the share price was depressed so that they can continue to buy back these shares, eating them up and destroying them. So then, once the business rebounds a little bit, we'd have a little bit more of a ownership stake in that rebound.
I mean, that's quite a chunk of change. 10 billion and then another 15 billion coming. That's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. And we're going to get a little bit more information. They're reporting earnings this week, August 4th, before the bell. So stay tuned. We'll have to see what those numbers look like.
Can't get much worse, right? Well, we can drop down to 70, I guess. Again.
Yeah. Hey, maybe a chance to run for the hills and take your losses, or double down and kind of get your cost basis a little bit more reasonable. But we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna buy more.
I'll be listening.
All right, guys. Well, if you had a bad day in Baba, so did we. So no worries. Have a good one.
Yeah. See you in the next one.